Welcome back to the Healthy Profits Podcast. It's one of your hosts, Sammy. Today, I'm going to cover how to use YouTube to propel your podcast. And I will be totally transparent with you when I tell you that Ray and I with the Healthy Profits Podcast are currently undergoing this same journey. So this is something that we're really learning alongside with you. As we've not streamlined our YouTube presence, we have not really figured out this formula. But what's great is there's so many great things to learn from and amazing people that we have learned from. And we're going to actually reference some of those today. Because if you're a podcaster struggling to gain traction and visibility, in today's digital age, leveraging this platform of YouTube is a total game changer. But many podcasters don't know where to start. And if you've been pouring your heart into your podcast without seeing growth you deserve, well, then this is definitely the episode for you. And I want to share a quick story about Myron Golden, who I'm going to refer to a couple times in this episode. He was 62 years old and trying to figure out how to scale and leverage his business and taking it online, specifically with YouTube. And what he learned in the YouTube optimization and what he has talked about in numerous videos and what I'm going to reference today are what took him at 62 years old from flatlining with business to soaring. He literally took his camera, turned it around, and started recording all of the things he was doing on a normal basis. He does biblical business teachings, and that's how I found him on Think Media, which was really cool. And I wanted to dissect and pull back the curtain of how he has done this and what he's done with his YouTube channel in correspondence with a podcast. And this will show you exactly the basic shoestrings of what to do and what we're actually doing with the Healthy Profits Podcast as well to really grow our podcast listeners, our listener audience with YouTube. So if you're not optimizing YouTube to its full potential, you're missing out on a huge audience. Many podcasters don't realize how powerful YouTube can be for growing their listener base and monetizing their content. So let's dive into the strategies that you can use to leverage YouTube for your podcast. And then at the end, we'll cover everything from optimizing your channel, your videos, creating engaging content, promoting your episodes, and monetizing your efforts. You'll have actionable steps too, because I'm going to reference Myron Golden and looking at his YouTube channel as well. Cool. So let's dive in. And here's the first thing that we wanted to make sure that you're doing is you're optimizing your channel videos and your channel branding. You want to ensure that the channel has a cohesive look with a clear logo, a banner, a consistent color scheme, and aligns with your podcast brand. Sometimes your YouTube is totally separate from your podcast, but you want to use what we call in our industry a whole look, feel book, in that everything aligns with your social media brand strategy. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your video titles and descriptions use keyword-rich titles and descriptions to improve discoverability. Include relevant hashtags, a detailed description to help viewers understand the content, the context of your episodes. And then you'll move into your thumbnails. You want to create eye-catching thumbnails that include readable text, compelling images to increase click-through rates. And those two things paired together will help you stand out immensely, just having a cohesive look. Second, you want to make sure you have content strategy. Full episodes and clips. Upload both the full podcast episodes and shorter highlight clips to cater to different viewers' preferences. And then you want to organize your playlists underneath that. Organize your content into playlists by theme or series to keep viewers engaged. Encourage binge watching. That's how you'll do that, is by organizing your content into playlists by themes or series. I just wanted to say that again because that will absolutely encourage binge watching. A third part, or another piece of this, is also live streaming, utilizing YouTube's live streaming feature to interact with your audience in real time. You also can host Q&A sessions and create a sense of community, which brings me to the third point, which is engagement. Community posts, use that community tab to post updates, polls, and engage your audience outside of the video content. Also, check your comments and interactions so that you're responding to comments and engage with the viewers to build a loyal community. And lastly, you want to make sure you have great call to actions. Include the call to actions in your videos. Encourage viewers to like, comment, subscribe, and share. There's a reason that everybody in their YouTube content always says, hey, like, comment, and subscribe and share. Those are embedded commands that we hear all the time, but I don't know how many times I have not even thought about it, but I did. I liked it and made a comment. And even if I really loved it, I've shared it. So those are the 3 first steps. The 4th is SEO and analytics. This is a deeper conversation, but you first want to make sure that your video is SEO optimized. So you can use some tools like TubeBuddy, vidIQ to optimize your videos for SEO, including tags like keywords, metadata, and tags. And then you want to review the analytics, and regularly reviewing YouTube analytics is the best way to understand what content performs best and where your audience is actually coming from and how long they're watching. Those are the stats that you can get that. So number 5 is promotion and collaboration. Cross-promotion and promote your YouTube channel on other social media platforms, definitely your website and your podcast platforms or your podcast landing page. But you want to make sure you're cross-promoting all of those shows. If it's not with your Facebook and Instagram, collaborations with your partner and other YouTubers or podcasters to expand your reach and tap into new audiences. And I've gone into this in other episodes, but that is one of the fastest ways to grow your audience is with collaborations. We'll probably do another deep dive on how powerful collaborations really are to grow your audience. And then you want to make sure that you are monetizing your YouTube. Something that's a little bit different from YouTube and podcasts is in the YouTube Partner Program. You can aim to join that partner program and monetize your video through ads. There's also the ability to have super chats, and you can also have super chats, memberships, and utilize features during these live streams and channel memberships for additional revenue streams. And then I would say, if you have built an audience and you feel like you're really getting a ton of views, maybe more than 5,000 or 10,000 views on your YouTube, that's when you can start really diving deeper into sponsorships and affiliate marketing. And you can include sponsored messages or affiliate links in your video descriptions to generate income. And then I think the biggest thing that you want to do is make sure that you are consistent and the quality is up leveled. So when you're shooting your video podcast, make sure that you're shooting it as close to 4K as you can, using a good camera, and also making sure that you have the best audio, right? You want to make sure you regularly upload a schedule and maintain a consistent upload schedule to keep your audience engaged and coming back for more. And I can't, as a podcast production house, we cannot emphasize enough how important high quality audio is. Invest in some good quality audio and video, which is something that you're already doing. If you're listening to the Healthy Profits podcast, you know that as a podcast production agency, we absolutely promote this religiously. The best audio you can have. Second is the good video. And then lastly, you want to make sure your accessibility with the subtitles and transcriptions provide subtitles and subscriptions for your videos that are relevant and make the content accessible to a broader audience. I love using captions. I love having transcriptions in there. And if you are a rabid listener of YouTube or a watcher of YouTube, I'm going to show you some tools here real quick to ingest a ton of your content quickly. But what's really cool is if you have your transcripts in there, it helps with the SEO ranking. It helps push those videos up because of all the content in there. So those are some of the 8 tips. I would think it's about 8 tips that you can really use to enhance your YouTube experience. Now, for those of you guys that are watching, I'm going to actually go in and we're going to look at a YouTube account quickly just to show you what it looks like, because our show is both video and audio. So let's take a look at it. Remember the gentleman I was talking about before, Myron Golden? Well, I'm just going to show you guys that if you're listening to this, you're not going to be able to see it, but I'll explain it as I'm looking at it. What I'm going to show you here is actually Myron Golden's account. If you look at this, he has a total lifetime views of 38 million. But I want to take a step back and take a look at how his podcast looks. And here's what's in his YouTube channel looks. So if you take a look here at Myron Golden's, you'll see something that we were just talking about in the very first part of this video, which is consistent, cohesive feel, right? Here's his video. You'll see that he has all the same colors, all the same branding. His thumbnails have emotion in it. And he does some really cool things with his subtitles. So how to guarantee you always win, how to get rich starting from zero. I think one of his best videos is why evil people are rich. But if you see all of his thumbnails, all look the same. And then you can see he also loads up a bunch of shorts for other people because people consume things differently. That is something that is amazing. Now, I'm going to show you a ninja hack here real fast. As I was even prepping and looking on how to utilize YouTube for your podcast, I looked up a few different things and used a couple tools to help me really expand what I was doing. So I'm going to open up one of these YouTube videos real quick and show you what I'm using. So here's Myron's video. I'm using one of my favorite tools right here is called ChatTube. And ChatTube is where I will go in and literally ask for how did he set his YouTube channel up so that it is optimized for podcasting. When I use a tool like ChatTube, it will literally tell me how to do that. I also use a summary video or a summary plugin. That is something that I love using because it gives me the key insight so I can absorb as much information as quick as possible. And now why do I tell you about this? Because you're going to want to study as many YouTube videos as you can when you're about to launch your YouTube channel for podcasting. And this is how I do both of those things. I like to utilize these two tools as much as I can. This is two of the links I'll put down below. But as you can see, here we go. How to get rich starting from zero. Looking at the way he's structured his content here, you can see that there's a bunch of great links. There's the 5-day challenge. So there's his CTA in there. There's a couple more of his books. Now, this is all a little bit different than the podcast. So there is a totally different ecosystem that you want to look at doing when you have YouTube added to your platform and added to your ecosystem inside your branding. These are some of the main things that I love to look at when it comes to studying what these people are doing inside YouTube, what these people are adding inside the descriptions. You can also see that Myron also has his show transcript. So you can see here, the transcript is just going to lay out right next to this video. Moving even into this one, how to start a podcast. This was another video. If you look at this, my explanation with ChatTube, I said, hey, can you create a compelling video script for me to also teach on this as well for my podcasters, which I'm actually doing right now. I'm literally showing you inside the matrix. But why do I show you this? Because this is how you learn to really turn that podcast into a YouTube channel. So what have we learned today? We've really gone through a few of the basics. When it comes to using YouTube, if you're not on YouTube right now, you're missing out on a huge audience. The biggest problem we see people run into is that they stop at one platform. They say, I built a podcast and it's a video show. They've made a video show and then they forget to put it on YouTube. It happens time and time again, which is why we really want to show you guys the power of using YouTube in your podcast journey. And don't forget, we've gone through a lot of different steps. The main thing is you want to make sure that your YouTube channel has a nice cohesive feel, matches the podcast as much as it can, and that you're utilizing a lot of the content that I just talked about here, SEO rich titles, making sure that you're consistently putting your podcast on YouTube, uploading the full video, and then chunking that down into shorter episodes as well. If you want to know some of the tools that we use to chunk down some of those videos instantaneously, stay tuned for a future episode where I go deeper into some of the AI tools that we use to really create some of the most compelling and rich YouTube shorts that you want to use on your channel. But until then, let us know, comment, like, subscribe, and share if you thought this video helped and gave you some great information to use. And we'll see you again next time on the Healthy Profits Podcast. Thanks, guys. Now that was a great episode. Thanks for joining us and tuning in to the Healthy Profits Podcast.
Sammy and I are here to help you turn your health podcast into a treasure trove of opportunity for your listeners and your business. So join us twice a week as we unleash our favorite tips and strategies that have helped our clients at Evolve Podcasting turn their show into a thriving part of their business.
And make sure you subscribe and listen in as each episode builds upon each other. And I know that you're a generous leader, so make sure you share this podcast with your fellow wellness entrepreneurs so we can all grow together.
Until next time, stay healthy and keep thriving.
Bye.
Bye.